Are you there? Yeah, we're there. Hey, Jan, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Jeff. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm doing well. Everybody, welcome to Jan and Jeff.
Hello.
We're doing this a little bit different on Saturday because yesterday we had our little technical difficulties and stuff. So we do it on. It's nice that we're much more relaxed.
I think so. Yeah. The background might not be as interesting.
No,
But
not so bad. You have a mirror and you have candles. It's not
yeah.
so bad.
Oh, right. I'm in the in my office. There's some antiques up there, which reminds me. I know we're going to talk about something for you, but in fact, later on this afternoon, I ran into somebody I know that used to sell vintage. She had a brocante store. And she's closed it now, but she has to get rid of all of this stuff. And she invited me privately to come and look. And she's got a very large collection of, there's a village not too far from me called Jolfi.
Uh-huh.
And there's a special pottery, very old pottery from Jolfi that is quite nice. And anyway, she has a whole collection of this antique pottery from Dolphy. So I get to go and look at that, maybe add some antiques to my shelf back there. Yeah, so if anybody loves antique pottery, I'll show you some pictures. I'll show you some pictures. I've already got a few pieces, but I think it's really nice stuff. So anyway.
All right,
now,
good.
Yeah, you wanted to talk about flour.
It's a bit strange. It's a bit strange. Anyway.
Not flowers in the field, but flour in the baking.
Well, actually, baking and making a pinata.
Oh, okay.
Let me show you the pinata.
Oh, okay. Oh, great. You made a pinata. Paper mache.
Paper mache. It's not 100% done. It's not
what is it?
It needs to be painted, but you can see it's the paper mache. Oh, I just broke it. It needs a couple more layers. But you basically just use, you mix water and flour, and then you use that on the paper, and that makes the paper mache dry.
On the newspaper. Oh, okay. Okay, that's great. I've never made a pinata.
Well, we do it for you and my son share the same birthday, so right. we do that. And that needs it needs to be painted. We didn't finish it yet, but you can kind of get the idea of what it is.
Yeah.
Pinata, they're gonna beat the hell out of it anyway, so you kind of.
So you haven't celebrated his birthday yet?
No, we haven't, because it's always during the vacations.
Oh, right. So all of his buddies were on vacation.
His buddies are gone, and so we do that. And but anyway, we made that, and we've done it. We had it done in a couple of years, and we started doing it. We did it this year. We said we'd do it again.
Okay. Yeah, because it's not. I'm sorry. What?
It's not. It is labor intensive. You do have to, because you have to let it dry every day.
Right. Now, what did you use for the frame? Coat hangers?
Yeah, the frame, the wires. It's not. It's supposed to be a Death Star. It's supposed to be a round Death Star, which is what the stuff coming out is supposed to be. The rays coming out of it. So it's a little bit. You have to use your imagination here.
Got it.
What we should have bought was a ball, a round balloon. That's what you should really use. A big balloon, and you can cover and it'll be round.
Right.
This I use wire, and it was not. I was kind of doing it and throwing it together, and it wasn't that. It wasn't that.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, the real star is going to be kind of shaped like that anyway.
Exactly. Death Star, it's getting hit and stuff. It's fighting. It's doing all this stuff. So hey.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Did you leave a little hole to put the candy in?
We put the candies already in it.
Oh, okay.
Candy's already in it, and you can actually. There's a place, because we live near Geneva. There's a place you can buy them from, but we always just make them. Buy the candy, put a hole in it, fill it up, and you put a hole in it, and then you got to do it again. That needs a couple more layers.
Oh, okay.
A little bit black.
No, but that's fun. I mean, he must really enjoy seeing his parents kind of make this pinata.
And he helps it too. He helps it too.
Sure. And pinatas aren't that well known for birthday parties. I used to love a pinata at a birthday party when I was younger.
That's right.
It's always fun.
Yeah, Los Angeles. You go to it and you do it, and I remember that. So that was half the flour. The other half of the flour was, and I don't know if this is. I have to. This is another show and tell. I made sourdough bread, and this is the. Oh, this is going to be interesting. If this is going to work or not. This is the. This is the dough. This is a starter. You can kind of see the bubbles in it, and what I made this on. Can I move it down? I see. Does it really? Yeah, you can see the bubbles in it. What happened is.
Oh, I see them. I see them now. Yeah.
You can see the bubbles, and it smells sour. It does smell really sour. Sourdough is sour. And basically, what I did was I found a recipe, and I didn't use any yeast. And what I did is there's yeast in the air. I didn't even know this. There's yeast in the air. Yeast is wild or natural, whatever you want to refer to it. And that yeast will go on and it'll go into the flour and it'll eat the sugars in the flour. And that's what creates the gases. And you have to feed it. You feed your starter. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
You feed, and then now this is a tradition. This is how bread was made 500 years ago before they had yeast. They knew what yeast was. They had read the recipe. If you leave it out, you have to. I did one where you had to double the volume every day for 5 days, and you just leave it out. You don't have to. This I refrigerated because I wanted to stop it, and I did it so much I was just kind of wanted to do something else. I stopped it, but you have to add to it. And a friend of mine. It's very interesting. A friend, American woman who's married to a French guy, and they own a bakery. He's a pâtissier, but they own a bakery. When we first visited, they told us about their starter. It's called La Mère. In French, it's called La Mère. It's the mother.
Yeah. We have that in vinegar.
In vinegar, yeah. And so you have that, and in this bakery, they had one, and the guy thought it had been there like for 20 or 30 years. They had the same starter. Basically, they were adding to it. You remove and you add to it, and the thing is, it's alive because you have the yeast. The yeast is alive. It's actually eating. You have to feed it. If you don't feed it, I guess it turns or something. But you have to keep it going. And I left that out. And I left it out for 5 days, and I just kept on adding to it and mixing it up and left it. It was covered. It's not very hot. It really kind of needs to be in 70 to 75 degrees. So 25, I think. I think it's about 25.
Wow.
And so it has. See, where I live, it's not. We're in the winter time. It's not. But it's interesting that you didn't need yeast to get it going. And I didn't add enough salt because it didn't have they said the criticism that I got was that it was didn't have a lot of taste. But I can show you a photo if I can. Let's see if this is.
So you made the sourdough bread already.
I made the sourdough bread already, but you're supposed to.
That's a handsome loaf of bread there.
Yeah, you can tell here. You can see that I put and it actually rose.
Yeah, it looks very appetizing.
And the problem is that the crust is really how do I want to say it? The crust is really hard. So I mean, the one recipe or one thing I read said you really have to try it. It's all trial and error. So. Yeah.
Well, it looks really good.
It was, it smells sourdoughy. It doesn't have a lot of the taste. I'm still, I'm still figuring this out. But there was a place that we go to. We by where my in-laws live. There's this little village, and they have a market on Sunday mornings. And the woman who started the market, it's a recent market, only a couple years, I think, sells sourdough bread. She sells pain au levain, which is what they say in French is pain au levain, and she sells it. And when I talked to her, she said, "Well, I don't." She said, "I don't use yeast," so she doesn't use yeast either. So she's doing it the really kind of a traditional way,
old-fashioned, yeah.
And old-fashioned, and she cooks on a wood stove, wood oven, I should say. She's got a wood oven, and she grows. So anyway. Yeah.
Did you buy some from her and taste it?
Yeah, absolutely. We always buy it. We always buy it. I mean. We do, and it's really some of them are big. And she had one. It was interesting. She had one that she said she didn't have enough space to go into the oven, and she left it out, and it kind of went blah, like this. And she was going to throw it out. And an older person said, "No, you keep that. because you can make like a pizza out of it. You know, if you have a very thin piece of bread like that, it kind of because it rose and then it wasn't cooked, and she put it in really late, so it went down. And
Right.
she could no, you can make a pizza out of it or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, that's really interesting, that whole yeast thing and the
I
mare
didn't know
and the
about that
feeding.
either.
Because what I want to talk about now has the same thing, and that is yogurt.
Ah, absolutely.
You know, they have the little yogurt machines. When I first got married here, I had one for a wedding present, and I used to make homemade yogurt. I mean, it's easy, but you have to have a starter. You have to have a starter yogurt, and once you have the starter, then you just, like you say, you just add to it, or you just keep one, and it's always the starter. But talking of yogurt, we just got the other day at 5 minutes to 12 noon, all hungry. And my colleague says, Jan, go and tell the boss, Cedric, that there's a truck here to unload 8 tons of yogurt.
Oh my God.
So I went and told the boss, I said, there's a truck here. There's 8 tons of yogurt. And he yelled at me. He said, you know, you need to talk clearly to me. I need to know what you're really trying to say, because he didn't believe me. He thought I was just,
He thought you were joking.
I didn't know what he thought I didn't know what I'd said. Anyway, I said, no, go talk to Max, you'll see. Anyway, we received an SHIT load of yogurt, which we have been, we've got to get rid of because there's a short date on it. And actually, it's the brand. Most of it is the brand Soja's Sun. So a lot of it is actually soja, which makes it a different kind of yogurt because that's not milk. And it's out of soja milk.
Soy milk.
Which is the protein, yeah. I don't know all of the effects of that, but yogurt has the same problem. If it's not cold, it turns like the bread, although it's not as good to eat, but that's like buttermilk, it'll be like buttermilk.
Buttermilk.
Oh my God. So I've just really been super busy selling yogurt because we actually sell them in their cartons. I mean, there's like, packs of, 6 in a carton. And we've been selling the carton. So I'm like, okay, well, if you get 4 cartons, I'll give you a 5th one free. Just get rid of it. So everything smells like yogurt. Half of the town is eating yogurt. I keep bringing yogurt home.
So if you live, where is the store at? It's in Montélimar. It's near Montélimar?
Yeah. It's not far at all. Yeah, it's not far. It's in
Montélimar. And you have a yogurt craving,
you know where to find it.
Go to
just connect with me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so there's really, we actually have a second refrigerator, and that's where it's all stocked. So we've got the people going through the first refrigerator, through it down the tunnel, up the sideway, and into the second refrigerator. And we sent out an SMS, a text, and put it on the Facebook. And I've just 3 hours, 4 hours straight at the cash register with, people coming to buy yogurt. And there's all kinds. Yeah. Well, the French, we talk about their cheese. They have such a large selection of cheese, but they actually have a really large selection of different yogurt products, chocolate dessert products. We have Bone Mama, mousse chocolate. We've got some lemon mousse from Nestle's, and they're little yogurt things, but it's lemon mousse and strawberry mousse. Oh, it's
wonderful.
So anyway, I'm having a yogurt time.
Well, we'll end on that yogurt
note.
A yogurt note. We'll end on a yogurt note. How's that?
Yes. Well, we're all turning. Actually, we're turning.
We're all turning on the yogurt.
We're fermenting.
We're fermenting on the yogurt with the bread.
Right. We're into fermentation.
We're into fermentation. Exactly. All right, Jan.
Gosh, Jeff.
Talk
You
to
have a
next
great
week.
weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
I'll see you next week. Ciao, ciao, everybody. Bye.